Governments say they work for your financial freedom, but history tells a different story. From Rome debasing its silver coins to modern inflation, bailouts, and quantitative easing, the real pattern is clear. Financial systems are designed to keep the majority broke, while wealth and power flow upward. Is this an unfortunate byproduct or a deliberate, systemic design? Let's critically examine the evidence. Does consider ancient Rome. Emperors facing fiscal strain systematically reduced the silver content in their coinage. This debasement effectively printed money, funding wars and lavish spending, but at a devastating cost to the populace. Their purchasing power eroded, leading to economic instability and social unrest. This wasn't an isolated incident. Throughout history, rulers have manipulated currency to their advantage. From medieval kings clipping coins to the hyperinflation of Weimar Germany, the temptation to inflate away debt proves irresistible. The consequences, however, are consistently borne by the common citizen. Today, the debasement is more subtle, yet equally potent. Central banks, often operating with significant autonomy, control the money supply. Through mechanisms like quantitative easing, they inject vast sums into the financial system, ostensibly to stimulate growth. However, this often fuels asset bubbles and devalues existing currency. Inflation, often presented as a natural economic phenomenon, is fundamentally a monetary policy choice. It acts as a hidden tax, silently eroding the purchasing power of wages and savings. While some argue it encourages spending, skeptics point to its disproportionate impact on those with fixed incomes or limited assets. When financial crises strike, the narrative often shifts to too big to fail. Governments and central banks intervene with massive bailouts, ostensibly to prevent systemic collapse. Yet these interventions frequently shield powerful institutions and their shareholders from the consequences of their own risky behavior. The costs of these bailouts are ultimately borne by taxpayers, either directly or through future inflation. This creates a moral hazard, incentivizing further recklessness within the financial elite. It's a system where profits are privatized, but losses are socialized, deepening the chasm of inequality. Quantitative easing, QE, is presented as a sophisticated tool for economic recovery. Central banks buy government bonds and other assets, lowering interest rates and increasing liquidity. The stated goal is to encourage investment and employment. However, a critical look reveals a different outcome. QE primarily inflates asset prices, stocks, bonds, real estate, benefiting those who already own significant assets. It does little to directly stimulate the real economy for the average person, instead exacerbating wealth disparities. This mechanism effectively transfers wealth from savers and wage earners to asset holders. The financial system's structure is not accidental. It's a product of policy and regulation. Critics argue that regulatory bodies are often influenced, if not captured, by the very industries they are meant to oversee. This leads to rules that favor established players and stifle genuine competition. Lobbying efforts by financial institutions are immense, shaping legislation and monetary policy. This influence ensures that the system continues to operate in a manner that concentrates wealth and power. It's a cycle where economic power translates into political influence, which then reinforces economic power. The historical record and contemporary evidence demand a critical reevaluation of our financial systems. Are we truly building financial freedom, or are we perpetuating a cycle of wealth concentration? Economists, investors, politicians, and the general public must engage in this vital debate. Demand greater transparency from central banks and government financial bodies. Advocate for policies that prioritize sound money, fiscal discipline, and genuine accountability for financial institutions. Your financial future and the stability of our societies depends on challenging the status quo and demanding a system that truly serves everyone, not just a select few.